That. And I had there was a guy, young loan processor there named Joe, who was my age, and he was a young struggling writer, and we would go to lunch every day and talk about, art and movies and politics, and he had a fascination with the TV show Hawaii Five-0. He had a lot of theories about that, but when you're in your 20s, you're just, your mind is going like, oh my God, there's so many things I can't even, blah. And then we'd talk about, like, what in the hell are we doing at a bank? We don't belong here. And Joe was one of those guys, we've all had that friend where they buy clothes at a store that are used, and come up to you and go, look at these pants, $5, with a safety pin on the zipper. That was Joe. As time wore on, I guess everyone got their supplies. I didn't have much to do, and so they started giving me other tasks. So one day, gay Jimmy Carter calls me into his office and says, I want to do something, here's a special thing for you. I want you to shop for a car for the bank president. It has to be a luxury car, and it has to be nice and impressive. So for the next week, I was calling up car dealerships and, driving around the city in a Cadillac, a Lincoln Continental, a Buick, and listening to the salesman go, maximum air, medium air, off air. Another thing I had to do was buy a copier machine because the bank needed a bigger copier machine. And you bastard, that guy says, you should talk to my friend. He sells copiers at Rico. He'll set you up. And he gives me a number. And I'm not going to use anybody's names here, but I am going to use this guy's name because it's perfect. His name was Tony Atlas. And I was envisioning, who is Tony Atlas? So I call him in, and he says, yeah, I could sell you a copier. So he comes into the bank, and I say, let's go up to the top deck where we can get some privacy. He has a huge binder of Rico information, I guess. And he sits down, and this guy has feathered hair, Ray-Bans. He has like a pink shirt with a white collar and a nice little thing over the necktie. Under the necktie, a little pin, very like smartly dressed, stinks of cologne, a lot of bling, wristwatch and everything. Unnatural tan, like this is a front job or something else that he's doing. So we sit down, and he rubs his eyes, and the first thing he says to me is, I got a 21-year-old, she's wearing me out. I didn't really know what to say, so I was looking through his fingers, and he goes, oh, okay. So I ended up not buying a copier from him, actually. At one point, the human resources woman calls me into her office. This is like 5 months later, and says, I know what's going on. And she was this sort of humorless woman who had whenever she smiled, you never believed it. It was Nurse Ratched kind of a smile. And I said, well, what do you mean? She goes, I know what's going on. And it's always the woman who gets hurt. And then it dawned on me, oh, you mean that I'd been having an affair with the administrative assistant who's married? Is that what? Oh, I see. And she was very stern, didn't fire me, didn't lecture me too much, but she just had this stare that was awful. And, it was tense around the office, of course. It's always tense around the office when something like that happens, right? There's strange tension between the two parties involved. So I left the bank under my own power, under my own reason, and I haven't thought of this in 20 years, but I thought I'd tell you all tonight, and I do want to let you know that I have a very sweet stapler. Thank you all.